Claiming Crown Day at Churchill Downs is an opportunity for us handicappers to find value, but it also presents somewhat of a challenge. We're diving into a card chock full of hard knocking claimers, whole lot of shippers, whole lot of unpredictability, but unpredictability presents value, and that's what we're here to find. So, riders up. Hello, welcome to Billy Hope Sports. As I said, Claiming Crown Day is a unique day for us to handicap those claimers. Normally, the videos are all about the big time graded stakes and the Breeders' Cups and the Derbies and Triple Crowns, but this time it's the Little Guys Breeders' Cup, and we're here to try to find those hidden gems for you. And we are going to unlock that 3,500 subscriber mark very soon, but it looks like the split the pot draw this week will be the standard $20 ones. So we'll do that on Thursday, and we will kick off the early portion of the Claiming Crown day. We're going to cover races 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to use race 3, the Chaluki, as the front end of a pick 3 bonus. So stick around to the end for that. And also go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's get these 3,500 subscribers in the books so we can bump that prize money up. And if you have any questions or picks, hot takes, or whatever, drop them in the comments. And if you're a subscriber, you get your name in the draw. So let's jump right into race number 4. And we are going to look at the contenders right now. Okay, race number 4 is the first leg. And you could just look. These are all going to be like starter allowances between 8 and 12,000 somewhere or not. But the purse is what matters. The big $100,000 purse is what we're doing this for. And we're going 6 furlongs on the dirt. This one here is going to be one of the more chalkier type races, so prepare for that. But I guarantee you there are other races in here where I'm going to point out some value, and we're going to take a few swings. And if we miss, then we miss. But it is a good experience for us all. We start with number 1, Swaggish. Last month, he ran off 9 furlong on a sloppy sealed track and just ran out really, really fast to the lead. It was the first under Joe Sharp. So I did kind of some research, and I'm looking for angles to play. And this angle was him picking up the horse in September, sending him out a mile and an eighth, balls out, basically. Broke from the gate, ran a 93-102, and then obviously fell apart down the stretch. So I'm looking for the conditioning for this one, getting them prepped for the 6 furlong sprint. And that fits the bill. You got Ortiz, jockey upgrade. All that lines up pretty well for this one. Good track record, Joe Sharp is with claimers. He's about 20%. This one had a fast breeze at Turfway, 4 and 47. So if he gets a clean break and Saez can work out a trip, definitely value in exotics. Now, the next 2 I just wrote down, they're just lacking in the speed department. Now, I know this one, you could draw a line through that 66, but this one runs more, can run 85s, 89s, 86s. This one did peak with this 85, but lots of lower level numbers, a few 80s in there, but these are lower level claimings. So I think a little light on the speed department. Same with Spotted Bull. Nothing but the 70s and maybe some mid 80s in there in the lower levels. And the connections, too, really just don't do it for me. Although Gabriel Saez, that's not a bad young jock. But I'm going to pass on those 2. There's too many way better in this particular race, including the number 4, Raymond. Everybody loves Raymond, right? Tim Martin ships this one in from Prairie Meadows. He's a top 10 trainer out that way. He's about 16% with the claimers. Top level jock Tyler Bacon comes along. He's got 5 starts at Churchill Downs, a win and a third. So I'm going to be pointing out just kind of handicapping angles as I kind of think of them when we go along. But Churchill Downs experience is obviously one that is going to be important. But this one probably no more than an exotics play underneath for me. But a possible upset candidate. And I'll tell you why. This one right here at Oaklawn, the Lake Hamilton stepped up after 4 straight wins under Tyler Bacon, stepped up to the Lake Hamilton and just kind of ran into that Oaklawn Park buzzsaw that is Skelly. And if you watch my video, Skelly, that's the only place that horse seems to ever win, and he runs his ass off at that place. So that was never really into that one, but bounced right back with a win, going 6 furlongs. You can see the specialist distance going all the way up through here. So Raymond, I think, is a good low-key play if you want to shoot for it. But this is the one I, quote-unquote, wound up on. The number 5 wound up. 18 of 64 with claimers out west. Barrocio claimed this one back in December 2024, then proceeded to run off 5 straight, you can see through here, blowing them out, going 5.5, 6.5 with Kyle Frey aboard, and then still got it done by a neck before and I'm not really sure what the plan was going to the Green Flash step up to graded stakes. I guess they just figured maybe it's a good time to try to wire the field and surprise everybody, but obviously we know that didn't work out. Then steps up even more in class and goes 6 furlongs versus Imagination, Dr. Venkman, and Straight No Chaser, top finishers, uh, top level finishers in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. So, pretty tough company for Wound Up, and I appreciate that about him. And Jose Ortiz gets them out, so that's just too good to be true. Sharp Warning looks similar on paper, runs off a shit ton of races here. You can see all these races in a row and some minor league, cheap stakes races in between. But the tracks right here are just too weak for me. I think this one's over his head. So 8-year-old gelding too, a little long in the tooth, but made plenty of money in his lifetime. So props on that. Now here's your other big contender, Concrete Glory. Obviously, I've covered this horse before. He was the one that screwed me over right here. he got he got busted up in the gate and then never got out, but wasn't declared a non-starter, so you got screwed out of your tickets that day. But came back, was a disaster in the True North, so they dropped him down and still in the sloppy, muddy conditions. Went wire to wire, beat Little Knee in Scotland, so some solid sprint experience there for Concrete Glory. Does have a race and a win at Churchill Downs, going 6 furlongs at 8,000. Right there, ran a big 102. That might be the highest at the distance. And yeah, there it is, highest speed figure at the distance. When you get just a load of stars on this left-hand side here, you definitely want to be paying attention. Obviously, Irad Ortiz up makes this one just a very dangerous horse. So a few more to go. Tap in for or Panther is a toss. Just didn't see anything I liked about this one. Some decent allowance experience, does have a win at Mountaineer, but I just like I said, others just look better. Tap in formation, I thought might be a good underneath play. 5-year-old, 4 wins in 2025, solid early pressing speed. I think he fits the spot well. His form sits just off the pace coming out of Parks. I don't know if it's going to be a thing coming out of Parks, but I kind of like him. Uh, just the ability to sustain drives coming out of Parks is important. But you could just see all these and getting top jock Paco Lopez up there for Irving Rodriguez. So all that looks a little classier, sharp workout. So the numbers look good, 50% in the money on the combo in these conditions. So that's a play underneath. And then you got Empire's Best, I believe rounds out the field. And 12 starts, 4 wins, or 4 wins, 4 seconds. Speed figures are a little weak, I think. I think there's better. I'm going to pass on this one. So anyway, the starter allowance, this is, like I said, one of the more competitive ones. I mean, I'm sure they're all going to be competitive, but this one just really looks like some strong contenders here. So I wound up on the 5 for the win, and the 7 could win. You got other horses like Swaggish, number 1, number 4, Raymond, number 9, Tap It Formation. So I put together a trifecta, putting the 5-7 on top with the 4, or with the 1-4-5-7. Then I have 1-4-5-7-9. So that's 2 over 4 over 5. Pretty cheap ticket. And I'm just going to call them legs when I put them down there. This would be technically leg 2 of the pick 3 I'm giving you, but I'm just going to say leg because we're going to circle back to some of these on future videos. So 5-7 is the 2 horses I'd play for verticals. So let's jump right over to race number 5. Take a look. So race number 5 is an 8.5 furlong on the turf. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. Now there's going to be lots of quirky conditions. So if you understand it better than me, good on you. But some of these are going to allow weight allowances and all kinds of different other stuff. So this one, another pretty competitive one too. So we're going to start with number 1, Settling Storm. Mixed form, but has a little upside. She's run on all weather and turf back and forth. Showed some solid punch down the stretch to get clear by 3 in the last one, going from the all weather to the turf. Not really sure what the trainer is on that front, but weak stats, 7% on the turf, 7% winner in the last race. Just this conditioner here probably gets her into good, or gets her into good form and maybe gets a max effort, but not for me. Our Liberty Bell, number 2, Joe Sharp. There's certain trainers you want to take notice of in these conditions. Mike Maker, the all-time leading trainer, 22 wins. I forget how many wins. It's ridiculous, but he dominates Claiming Crown. Joe Sharp is another strong one. We'll point more out as we get to it. But this one, Our Liberty Bell, is sired by American Pharoah, who's got some chops on the turf. But I do believe we are 3 turf efforts in the past, but I didn't go back to look to see what those results were. They're too far back for me. This is just a whole lot of dirt efforts, and I'm not really sure what the plan is with Sharp on this one. But this was maybe one of the lesser horses I have interest in of the sharp entries. I believe he has several. Her running style does fit the move, running style and pedigree, but I'm going to look elsewhere. Getaway Palace has big time front end speed. This one is sired by Palace, and some pretty strong company. 50K N1X win, then 75K state restricted stakes, fourth place finish on a yielding turf. So you can see how that kind of yielding turf at Penn. So not only is Penn softer and more taxing down the stretch, when it's yielding, it's even worse. So I'll forgive that. And then you have a clunker there. These horses are going to throw in clunkers. And so some pretty good races underneath from there. Getaway Palace is definitely one. I don't typically like front runners on these turf races, especially claimers. I probably would look underneath, but that's about as good as I'd go there. Story Hour is the 4 horse moving from dirt to turf. And this one has no turf experience. That's almost an automatic toss for me. Not sure who the jock's going to be. Keith Asmussen is injured. That might be a bonus if he can pick up somebody that doesn't have a mount that's better than Keith because he's less than a 10% jockey. No, I'm not a fan. Sorry. Steve's going to need a new jock. I'm not going to go with this one. Might take more money than he should, although he's 45% drops off a win, which is interesting. So that's something to keep an eye on. So maybe I'll circle back later in the week. Has plenty of Churchill Downs experience on the dirt, but not the turf. So probably pass on that one. Probably passing on Vino's Angel. Not much good form. A walk off at Kentucky Downs, completely outrun at Keeneland, going marathon distances, and it just when a horse doesn't win, there's nothing to encourage it to win, and that's just too long of a drought for me. Now, near Azuri is Mark Cassie, Jose Ortiz. That combination is pretty deadly on the turf. This one you have to step up and take notice. Uh, but no turf efforts. So I have to trust that Cassie knows what he's doing here, unless he's just taking a shot. So taking to the turf for the first time, the dam has produced some turf winners. 3-year-old's going to be facing older horses here. So that's what keeps this horse kind of out of the win column for me because I don't really know how it's going to take to the turf. Turf is turn of foot. Stretch drives on dirt are more grinding and pace, things of that nature. So not really sure, but the connections hook up. It's a solid horse. Now this one I took notice of, Hashima, solid looking filly. 94 late pay. I like this race at Gulfstream right here. Even though she lost going this distance, was pressing up forward on the pace and only gave it up late, going for 62 and a half. Showed some good late pace in the 94, even though it was up front. I think that's what I likes about it. Sal Santoro, uh, not really much in the stats category, but he's got 28% off 18 starts. He's got 4 wins and 12 starts on the turf. So 1 for 1, second off the layoff. I mean, he's got Irene Ortiz stepping in for him. So this one's definitely a legit win contender. Lots of good speed figures too, and lots of good experience on both all weather and turf. Lots of wins under his belt, 9 of 19. So, Lady Out of the Blue. This one will be Michael Matz, and probably just going to be an exotics play. She broke through for her first stakes win back. Let's see, way down here at Penn, going a mile and a 16th for 50K. Just Delaware and Penn. Nothing more than a gut play for maybe some exotics is where I'm looking at. Even the bottom of it, like bottom trifecta, not even in the exacta column. Bottom tri super, Morning Miracle, 8th start in the form cycle, wheeling back after 2 weeks off. None of that bodes well for me. I'm going to give it a big pass. Jamie Torres is just not a very winning jockey, obviously. 6%. I had my problems with him too. So Windy Walk, her recent dirt form pretty good. Can sprint, sired by Munnings, got Louis Saez aboard, which is a nice touch. I'm going to be looking elsewhere. Gutsy effort at 7, but barely hung on by a nose, and now we're stretching out. And just the one turf effort. So going back to the dirt to the turf again, 2%. No thanks. Excuse me. Now this one is going to be a top choice. 11 goats on a tree. Don't know where that name came from, but it's an interesting name nonetheless. Here's your man, Mike Maker, the winningest trainer. Claimed him from Safi on September 7th. So I think he had this race eyeballed. He stretched him out October 18th and wins at this distance on the inner aqueduct turf. Oh, by the way, all those wins in this claiming crown by Mike Maker, he's the very best at this race condition, mile and a 16th on the turf. So he's got like 7 wins and under this condition. So this one is going to be a strong win contender for me. Plus the 50% drop off the win. This just lines up. It could very well be a single if you want. Uh, I like this one. Number 12, Cairo Street. I think a strong underneath for Lacey Gaudette for Boyce hookup, running in lots of high levels. So this is a drop for her too. High level, big time into X after the back 3 straight wins going against 25 optional claimers and stuff like that. So she's done very well with this horse since taking over back in April. Now, outside post is going to be a problem. She looked good, presses the pace, surged to the lead, entering the stretch, but faded away in that race I have highlighted. So I'd use an exotics play on that one. Several alternate entries, but I think since Seat at the Table is the first one, all it takes is one scratch. Puts this one in. You got Philip Antonucci, Junior Alvarado, definitely some good ones picked up from Mark Cassie in August. So I think this one is a definite one. You'll look 50% second after the claim. That's 1 for 2, but a plus 320 on the ROI is pretty tight. So I would definitely look on that one. So race number 5, I should say, is number 11, Goats on a Tree for the win. And I'm going to key box the 11 in the trifecta with the 6, 7, and the 12. Now, you could do this pick 3. I believe it's going to be like $8 for $1. You could even really get tight and go alternate ticket. But this one is the first. This is for races 3, 4, and 5. So we're keying the 7 ragtime. Then we have the 5 and the 7 in the second leg. And then I spread a little bit, 6, 7, 11, and 12. But I may throw in another alternate ticket and go 7, then 5, 7, then 11. So to have the single. So you can go up to like $3 or $4 on that one if you like to get a nice profit if it hits. Let's go on to the final race of part 1 of the 3-part series that we're going to do as race number 6. Let's look at them. Alrighty, we are going a mile and a 16th on the dirt, and these are 3-year-olds and upward. And obviously, these are conditions. If sometime in their lifetime they have an $8,000, so that's why you'll see. Why are we seeing these horses that run in graded stakes races and coming in here? But one time in their career they met those conditions, so they're in here. Those are the ones you want to take advantage of. That's another angle. If you've got a horse that has been one of those Cinderella's type stories, then you know you're doing pretty good. This one's kind of in that boat. You see, it goes all the way up to a 56K allowance win. So this one was bred for back Irish War Cry for 2,500. This one's earned $327,000 and change in a lifetime. So nice little guy done well. This one spent a lot of time. You can see down here in the lower level claimers banging them out. Something to be said for Villalobos riding this horse in all these mounts. He knows this horse very well, gets a good inside position, but this one's going from turf to the dirt. Now, does have 19 starts on a fast track, 5 wins, 3 seconds, 3/3. So it's conceivable that this horse is ready to make that switch. And the recent form shows steady improvement. Just missed 2 back on October 11th. Wheeled back to 2 weeks later and showed that game effort that got the win. So the closer, inside trip, nice pocket trip, could be definitely in the mix. El Perfecto is another one to look at. Only horse and trainer Andy Rogers barn with any win in 2025. So you can see he's like 3 for 16, and this horse has all of them. So why not bring it here? Claimed it for 25. So Gelding's paid his freight, making over $120,000 in his career. But since then, you can see made 61,000. So since the claim, he's won 3 times for the trainer, and that's more than paid the bill. Probably going to look elsewhere for the win, a 2-turn mile. So he's got a couple of different things I wanted to point out. This one is a Delta 3 back on September 1st, Evangeline. I almost got him backwards. This is a 2-turn dirt mile right here that he gets the win. So that helps when you're talking about stretching out to a 2-turn mile and 16th. This one is a 1-turn out of the chute. Still got the win. So shows really good front running speed. Ben Curtis picks up the mount. Good grinder late in the races, has good speed figures late. So definitely want to keep that on your radar. Money Run, Peter Miller, Tyler Gaffleone, cut back in distance, sharp workout. Pair of wins going a mile previous to that at and I believe one of these two I think is a 2 turn mile. I was going back to look, and I apologize that I don't have that information right off the top of my head, but uh just definitely not getting it done. Now, going back and looking at this race, you say, why would you like this horse? He got killed. Well, he reared up in the gate before they took off and completely got left behind. I mean, he was 6 lengths behind before he got out of the gate. So toss that start. So when you look back at these distances where he's improved, the run happy gelding is showing up. So I like this one. Shot Shell. This is the one I was talking about when you talk about weight relief, different conditions. This one has to have something to do with Amanda Poston being an apprentice jockey, getting the weight relief. But it's a significant relief. It's 8 to 10 pounds for some, but sired by Gunrunner too. So I had to really give this one a good look. But I'm not sure. Only 1 for 9 this year. Flashes of ability at Prairie Meadows, but trying to take a gate to wire, can't hold off the pressure. So you might see this one out on front, but I think that she's going to get run down late in the race. So I'm going to pass. So you got Time for Trouble, the 5 horse, 8-year-old gelding, English Channel. I don't know about how it translates to dirt. You can see that I like that they tried to get some conditioning here, but this one has run Birdstone, Pimlico, Ben Ali. Did okay in the Ben Ali. Got beat 5 lengths, but did finish fourth. Um, stakes races. Just didn't really get any wins here. So definitely running versus better. The turf to dirt angle, 21% for Jeff Hiles. He's definitely targeting this race. Combine that with the class drop, I think could be a good spot. Curlin's Malibu, trained by Joe Sharp. This one's ridden by Luis Saez. Good jockey upgrade there. Figures definitely on the closer end of the spectrum. Was up against it in the last race, going a mile and a 16th against a -16, -17 pace. That's tough to handle right there. And previous to that, won at a mile and a 16th at Colonial, which I like, under Paco Lopez. That was for 8,000 and was claimed in June by Joe Sharp. So Joe Sharp's one, keep an eye out. Like I said, trainers that target these races and are successful at them. 50% in the money, low win percentage though. So we'll probably pass on the win, maybe just use underneath. Freedom Road is a win contender for sure. Trained by Richard Silliman, gets IRAD looking back to March, back-to-back wins at Gulfstream. Took a long layoff, returned in October with a sharp effort at 6.5. Just wasn't able to get there. Going 8 at Parks. I think that should help conditioning, most definitely. Turning back around, second off the layoff, which he's 25%, which is strong. Sharp workout. All that points toward a really A-plus effort coming in. So he did have one Churchill Downs race, was at 8.5 furlongs, and he just missed it by a neck right here. Now we got Metatron's Muse. This one working well for Chris Hartman, Tyler Bacon. I like the connections here as well. Both a good trainer, good jockey. But Gelding does have plenty of experience. 7 starts under the Twin Spires, 2 wins, 2 seconds. I think that's important. Working well coming in. The most recent effort came at 12.5. He tried to make a late run, but could only get within 5 of the winner. Pair Strong works at Churchill Downs coming in, the 4 and 48, and the Bullet prior to that, 4 and 47. That's pretty good. I think we'll be looking at that one for an underneath play. Now, Daddy Justified, this one is just disappointing Daddy constantly. I mean, running under these conditions, a horse that's bred this strongly, I mean, the dam has a 5.65 sire production index. So $300,000 horse has barely cracked $80,000 in 17 lifetime starts. And I don't see, I mean, if he pops, he pops, but I'm not going there. So I'm taking a big fat pass on Daddy Justify. Now, Hoodlum is one I would use underneath. I'm not playing anything Christian Torres for on the winner's side. And he's only, I mean, a jockey that is under 40% in the money Also not a jockey I'd want to be doing much with. Like Dexter Haddock's 43%. You wait till I get to like Jose Ortiz, where he's 52% in the money. So, if you're not hitting 40% in the money on your rides, then you're just probably not getting the best mounts and you're not the best jockey. Feel lucky tonight. Dexter Haddock is one that I like. You can see he's 25%, 4 of 16 with the trainer the last 3 months, 56% plus positive ROI. That's pretty good. I like this one right here, beaten favorite, 72 starts and 71% in the money. Man, that's good. Almost 3 out of every 4 beaten favorites, he comes back to at least hit the board, but 26% of the time he's getting it done. So coming off back-to-back wins prior to that, all at Parks, all showing good late kick, grinding it out down the stretch. Probably going to need to show a little bit earlier speed so he doesn't get too far back for that one to get in there. But if they're feeling lucky, then go ahead and put them on your ticket. We'll round it out with Blast Radius, the number 12 horse, Jose Ortiz up. Another good looking one you could definitely use underneath if you wanted to. I had to start taking some stands. So I'm going to take a stand against this one. Uh, Largely due to the outside post draw for Jose and the poor trainer stats. I mean, coming back to a route, it's pretty good. But, if the horse isn't there, Jose can't get him there, even though he does win 33% clip. But those are usually on much better horses. And I don't really know what's in here on the rest of them. But when I saw Prime Power 16 and 15, I really didn't look too deep at the alternate entries. So to round out this race and round out the video, number 1 Kings River value play for exotics. I like that one. Sorry about that. Kings River definitely value exotics play. I liked all the things I talked about earlier about that horse, including the steady jockey aboard, inside post, all that good stuff. Closer. The number 3 money run, a top contender for me. The 6 Curlin's Malibu looks like a solid exotics play. Freedom Road win candidate. Watch the odds on that one though. If it takes too much money, I would fade it. Number 8 Metatron's Muse, best home track advantage there, and that's always useful. So I'm going to take the number 3 money run with the T-Gaff aboard for the win. Then I'm going to try a trifecta key box, the 3 with. Now I have 1, 6, 7, 8, 11. I know that's spreading a little bit too much. But it is a big field and it's only 5 horses. So if you don't want to spend the money key boxing the 3 up and down the board, you could probably break it up into like a 2 over 3 over 4, 2 over 4 over 5, like I did a little earlier. Things of that nature would make it cheaper. But I like the 3 and the 7 as the most likely win candidates. And this, whatever leg we play on this one, that leg I'm going to use 1, 3, 7, 11. Like I said earlier, I'm just using the word leg to signal the vertical plays. So that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop that comment, subscribe to the channel, check back Saturday for post-race adjustments. We're working toward that 3,500 mark. We just bounce up. It's like I gain 2 subs and then I lose 1 or 2. And I know after a big weekend like the Breeders' Cup, you always drop 2 or 3 subscribers. I do pretty well. I'm surprised I don't lose 10 or 20. Then I would be really tilted on that. But I only drop 1 or 2 usually after these big events like the Triple Crown. So people usually stay engaged. And it's really It's a really courtesy thing, in my opinion, for solo operations like mine. Why do you want to unsubscribe? It's not hurting you. If you're not watching the videos, then not watch them. But if you've got 17,000 different subscriptions, and they're free, it's not like it's costing any money. But if you're on YouTube and you've got that many subscriptions and you need to go clean them out, and I'm one of the last out, I understand that. But if you just have a few, there's no reason to unsubscribe from the channel just because you're not keeping up with the content currently. That's all I have to say about that. That's all I have to say about this video. I thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.